I will give credit to Kyle for one thing. Man, he's got the liberals all shook up. This show has a couple of them here, and they're going to tell you what's wrong with conservatives and their support for Kyle Rittenhouse. And in so doing, they're going to tangle themselves up logically like you've never seen before. Hello out there. I am trying to get through.
With his powerful brainwaves cradled in the warmth of reasoning, it's time for Johnnie Walker Dread to straighten you out on a thing or two. Emanating all the way from exciting Las Vegas, Oklahoma, it's the Johnnie Walker Dread Show.
Kyle Rittenhouse, the teen who shot and killed two people at a racial justice protest, has become a hero of the right. He was greeted with a standing ovation and pyrotechnics yesterday at the Conservative Turning Points USA conference as young Republicans chanted his name. One Fox reporter noted he got a rock star reception at the Arizona event. He was part of a panel entitled Kenosha on Camera, which addressed his recent acquittal for the 2020 shootings.
All right, let's be clear here. The purpose of the panel was for four dudes to basically compliment that kid all night long and tell him how great he was. I didn't like it. I didn't support that. I don't think that's what they should be doing. Whatever. They're not listening to me. But I'd like to think that I'm a little bit older and wiser than they are. I'm definitely smarter.
He told the crowd that the trial helped me grow a lot and has helped me mature. His ascendance as a Republican poster boy has been swift and bizarre. But it also signals something deeper within GOP, where vigilantism has become something to be celebrated.
Okay, it's not vigilantism. Vigilantism occurs if he had gone in and taken over the function of some sort of government agency like the police or the courts. He didn't do that. He was acting as private security. The police will not protect your house. Therefore, protecting your home is not vigilantism. And it doesn't matter if it's somebody else's home. It makes no difference. Protecting property is not a function of the police.
Joining me now to discuss, Daryl Lamont Jenkins, founder and executive director of One People's Project. Daryl, what do you make of this, kind of idolizing hero worship of this young man, teenager still, and his only claim to fame is he killed two people and got acquitted for it?
Okay, now, I want to be clear about something here. I know a lot of you are getting worked up with what he said. He's right. I mean, nothing he said there is factually incorrect. Kyle did kill two people. He shot three people. And strictly speaking, his only main claim to fame is the fact that he was involved in these shootings. He's not a murderer. The shootings were not his fault. But they are absolutely right. All he has really done, accomplished so far in this, was he shot some people, okay? And the reason why I think it's important to understand that is people are talking about Kyle running for political office and all that. You know what? He's an 18-year-old kid. He hasn't had the wealth of experience to be able to go off and do these lofty things. He might, and we'll see. But whatever the case, he's not wrong with what he has said so far.
That's what the right likes, killing black people.
Huh? Okay.
I'm just going to say it flat out, just like.
Okay, you said it flat out. At least you're taking ownership of it. I wouldn't.
Like that. I think about how my first column in the 90s was about how I was arrested for a bogus charge of chasing somebody through a neighborhood.
So he was arrested for a bogus charge for chasing somebody through a neighborhood. Now, it's a bogus charge, which means what? It didn't happen, right? Okay.
The charges got dismissed, but in the column I had written that God forbid if somebody in that neighborhood was armed and felt they needed to defend themselves.
From what? I thought that the charge was bogus. I thought that you didn't actually do it. So did you chase this dude or not? Oh boy. What can you say?
That was like less than a month before Ahmaud Arbery was born.
Okay, I have no idea why that would even matter. Fine.
And I have to say that they do see Kyle Rittenhouse not just as their hero, but as their blueprint. This is what they want to do. This is what they always said they want to do. I was hearing it when Gina 6 was happening. And you had white supremacists swinging around nooses that says this means justice.
Okay, so let's see here. This is what we always want to do. I don't know who he's talking about when it comes to we, but I assume he probably thinks I'm part of that. I don't know. But let's just see here. This is what we want to do. We want to get arrested and thrown in jail for 4 months. And we want to be called white supremacists and all kinds of horrible things. And we want the media to turn against us. And we want a prosecutor to try to throw us in jail constantly. And then, of course, we want big tech to deplatform us so that we can't raise money for our defense. And then we also want to face life in prison. Those are the things that we all want. Glad that Kyle was born to show us what we've been missing out on.
This has gone on for too long for us to be surprised. In fact, we need to bear in mind and not be surprised at the verdict that we had to deal with last.
Well, the reason why we're not surprised was because we knew he was innocent, that we saw the evidence. That's why we were not surprised that it was not guilty. In fact, I said it on my channel. We might have a hung jury if a couple of morons refuse to see the light, but I said that not guilty was the most likely outcome, and therefore it wasn't much of a surprise. It surprised him because he didn't look at the evidence, he didn't watch the videos, he didn't watch the trial, he only listened to his buddies.
Last month, because that's why we were out in the streets in Kenosha in the first place.
What, to chase after a kid with a rifle and get shot? Okay. Strange hobby.
We did not believe that the system was catering to something positive, and Kyle Rittenhouse is an example of that.
Right. Well, we should know that the people he shot were not black in this particular case. They were out,
Yes.
Okay, now I'm really confused. So he says, well, you do realize that the people were not black. Yeah. Okay. I need to drink a little bit more of this, I guess. Then maybe I'll understand.
Protested for a black person, and so the cause was about a black person.
No, not a black person. Get off that crap. He wasn't a black person. He was a black felon. He was a black domestic abuser. He was a really, really bad person. And he fought with the police. He pulled the tasers out of his body. He grabbed a knife and tried to get into a car. Don't give me that black person crap. Now, he was a person, don't get me wrong, but I'm tired of this sugarcoating thing. I'm sorry, he was a despicable creature, and he ended up deserving everything that happened to him. I have no sympathy for that asshole, none whatsoever, and the Wisconsin DOJ investigated. They told Kenosha County District Attorney there's no point in prosecuting the officer because it was self-defense. It's clear.
But anyway, I want to just pull the lens back a little bit and just look at how often this is happening now, where we're celebrating people taking the law. Well, not we. Republicans are celebrating people taking the law into their own hands. I think you could argue that January 6th is an outgrowth of this very same mentality.
Yeah, you could argue that, but it wouldn't make a lick of sense.
I think you could argue that the stand your ground laws that we see proliferating all over the country, I think they're now kind of available to some degree in almost every state, is an extension of this.
Oh, the stand your ground laws. Oh, damn, I hate them things. Means that I can't attack people anymore. They're pissed off because states have enacted laws that don't allow them to attack people at will. Doggone it. When I attack people now, they don't have to run from me. They can stand their ground and defend themselves. Damn it. That's what pisses them off. I have a solution. Don't attack people, and you don't have to worry about what stand your ground means. At that point, All concerns about stand your ground dissipate because you are not putting the other person in a position to stand his ground or stand her ground.
It feels like the Republican conservative part of the country is setting up a system where they could do this sort of thing and not be breaking the law and get away with it.
Yeah, it's called self-defense. I think that's pretty much the law in every state. We don't have to set it up. It's already set up. If you look into the state statutes, you will find self-defense in every state. And that's what Kyle Rittenhouse relied on to get exonerated. We don't have to create all new paradigms in law to get away with this stuff. The law is already there. The solution is don't attack people. If you don't attack people, then you don't give them any reason why they need to defend themselves.
That's true. And piggybacking off of your last segment, they're also ginning up that old machine where they're looking at us as being a criminal class so that they can advance a more, I should say, legal vigilantism on their part. I mean, we just went through a mayoral race.
Wait a minute. We're looking at you as a criminal class. I assume he's talking about black people, but Kyle Rittenhouse shot 3 white people. So how does that work? No one here is blaming black people for what took place in Kenosha that night. We all recognize that it was mostly white people out there burning crap down. This isn't a race issue. This is about personal protection. It's about protecting property. It's about protecting yourself. And just because 3 morons decided to attack a kid with a rifle, and these morons were white, doesn't mean that the people who support Kyle don't like black people. That's insane. It's stupid, and you ought to quit doing this crap.
In New York City, which was between a police officer and a vigilante. And that should tell you the kind of climate that we're dealing with now.
Well, actually, it doesn't tell me anything because you didn't tell me anything about it. You didn't tell me the names. You didn't tell me what it was about. No, nothing. So what the hell am I supposed to do? Go to Google every time you try to raise an example.
Now, the question I have for the viewers and anybody else out there that's concerned is, what are we going to do about it?
I have an idea. You say that there is this evil mechanism out there that white people, Republicans, are creating to where they can use these self-defense laws to attack people and shoot them. If you don't attack people, you foil their evil plot. That's right. If you don't attack them, you foil the plot. There is your solution. That's what you should do. When you see a guy guarding property with a rifle, don't attack him. There you go. And you know what's great about this solution is it requires no effort. All you have to do is just walk on by. One of my favorite songs by the Stranglers, by the way. And if you don't know the Stranglers, oh, you're missing out. At any rate, the solution is right in front of them. It's so crystal clear. It is called turning the other cheek. Don't get involved in these fights, and you won't have to worry about getting shot. The person guarding the property is only interested in guarding the property. He's not out to shoot you. I mean, come on. Give me a break. If Jojo Rosenbaum had not attacked Kyle that night, Kyle wouldn't have had to shoot anybody. It took a raving lunatic, child rapist, mental hospital reject to get Kyle to shoot somebody that night. Don't pretend that you guys were just walking on by and he opened fire on you. The solution is clear. Don't screw with people carrying rifles.
We have come too far to allow it to just go on like this. And considering we have seen this before and what it means for us as a people, where are we going to go? Next year is an election year. Next year is a midterm. We need to start addressing these concerns before they go too far, before someone else gets hurt.
Okay, I have an idea. How about voting for people who want to remove self-defense from the statutes? Vote for them. Go ahead, remove self-defense from all the laws. But if self-defense is removed from us, it's also removed for you. Do you want that? All of a sudden, self-defense becomes really important to them. You know, self-defense is for everyone, including the person that's walking around with a rifle. He's entitled to self-defense just like anybody else.
So what are we going to do?
Do you are you worried at all that we'll have copycats of Rittenhouse, that people will show up in place where they live or where they don't live? You know, he wasn't in a place where he lived. Show up saying, I'm going to bring order as a citizen. I'm going to address these protests as a citizen. I will be armed in my ability, in my kind of attempt to do that. And if something should come my way, I'm going to shoot to defend myself.
Well, don't send anything his way, and you foil the plot. And I'm sorry, I'm tired of this. He wasn't in his community crap. It doesn't matter. If you see somebody in need of help, you don't have to be in your community to help them. Kyle saw that there were some businesses that he thought needed helping. It didn't bother him that he's not technically a Kenosha citizen. He helped anyway. If I'm in Dallas and I see somebody in a car that can't get out of the car, that's on fire, I'll try to help them. It doesn't matter whether I'm from Dallas or not. You don't have to be from a community to help the community.
Is there a danger that we have copycat Kyle Rittenhouses happening going forward?
Well, I take it even further. We're going to be dealing with a lot of people who are going to create situations on their own. In fact, they're going to be the aggressors trying to pass themselves off as the victims in something where a crime isn't even being committed. No one is doing anything wrong, but they are going to frame it as otherwise.
Oh yeah, really? Show us where that's ever happened. Oh, and by the way, there's already a law against this. Every state that I know doesn't allow you to provoke somebody into a confrontation for the purpose of shooting them. The very thing that you're so worried about is already illegal.
And take quote unquote matters into their own hands. That's what I'm concerned about the most. So we do have to be vigilant against that kind of thing. Yes.
Are you also concerned about, all these states passing anti-protesting laws? So not only do you have the vigilantes showing up saying, we're going to stop it, the state legislatures are also stepping in and saying, we're going to pass laws to make it harder for them to do this, period.
Well, an anti-protest law is definitely unconstitutional. Most likely, the anti-protest law is actually aimed at curtailing illegal behavior during protests. Things like stopping traffic. You can protest all you like, but your rights end at my nose. You start making life hard for me, and yeah, I can go in and have laws passed to stop you from doing that. If it's criminal behavior, the solution is protest the right way. There is a way to protest peacefully, and it's been done many, many, many times.
And easier to do weird things like run people over with their cars.
Oh, yeah. What was the last time I heard about that? Yeah, it was some dude running through a Christmas parade. I suppose you're going to blame that on conservative Republicans too, huh?
How do we allow this? We can't allow this. So yes, we are definitely concerned about that. And I mean, we see what happened in Florida with DeSantis, and they do call it rightfully so an anti-protester bill. At least the detractors do. And now we are going to have to start pushing back. We are in a position now where no one has gotten hurt yet, at least not to the extent that we are afraid of.
What the hell was that? Nobody's been hurt yet?
So we should take take action now before things do
Right.
get to that point, and we'll see what happens next year.
We're going to take action and see what happens. Kind of sounds like a threat. I have no idea what he's talking about. Maybe he's talking about legal action.
Right. J. Lamont Jenkins, thank you so much for your time tonight, sir. I really appreciate it.
Well, what do you think? Like my video, subscribe to my channel.